Um, Good morning to everybody. My name is Uncle Bill Nicholson. I'd like to thank your organisation for incorporating a welcome to country as part of your meeting today, important meeting, your AGM, because it's a great sign of respect. And I'll explain that shortly, because to me, respect, if it isn't gained, it's very hard for us to welcome. So I'll explain that in a sec. But I'd like to start off in what I call the basis of anyone's culture, it's your language. Ours was banned in 1863, but we're trying to bring it back as part of our healing and our reconnection to our identity. It's called Woiwurrung, and we say Wurundjeri, Gabamalamangil, Balambun, Yalambu, Wurundjeri Balak, Nirinamarnbik, Bill Nicholson. So welcome and greetings. Good day from the Wurundjeri people. My name is Bill Nicholson. I'm an elected leader of my community. We use the title today elders to represent that, and we use the title uncle or auntie to represent that role. Now, I'll be straight out. This country did not make me feel very proud about my identity growing up. All I knew that I wanted to get rid of it because I was copped a lot of racism. What changed it away from, changed it or turned it right around for me was my father giving me the opportunity to become the cultural officer and learn my people's history and learn my people's culture, because the education systems of Australia really have failed everybody concerning Aboriginal education in the past, and we're working on it, improving it into the future. The Wurundjeri story is amazing, and I could spend the next 3 hours with you quite easily explaining it, but I've got a couple of minutes. I'll sort of condense it down a little bit for you. I'd like to acknowledge our elders for a couple of reasons. Our elders past. I just mentioned Dad. He's recently joined my ancestors. He opened the door up for my family. His predecessor, Arnie Winnie, who set up the first cultural heritage traditional owner body in the state of Victoria, my grandmother's sister, which is the Wurundjeri Council. Going back to people like William Barrack, our first human rights advocate, Simon Wonga, our first land rights advocate, and his father, Billabulleri. The very first day or days of European arrival on our sacred land, Billabulleri knew that we had to have land to survive. So we've been fighting for it for a long time. I'd also like to acknowledge our cultural leaders of today, of all age groups. I don't go by age groups, I go by who you are and your pride and understanding your responsibility to your people. I'd also like to acknowledge our fallen warriors and clans. Again, something you've never heard of in the Australian education system, the frontier wars of this country, and many, many Aboriginal people fell fighting for their rights to their land. This country in the past has seen Aboriginal people and culture as a problem. Its foundations, its roots, 1901, White Australia policy. I don't believe Australia has a culture except for cultures of this land and cultures from all over the world. True reconciliation. I really believe this can happen when Australia learns, connects, respects, embraces Aboriginal people and culture. It is an amazing culture. It is one of the oldest, if not the oldest, living cultures in the world. In our stories, Bunjil gave us land to look after, life to enjoy, and the laws to live by, creating a culture of efficiency, 2 to 6 hours a day to sustain the family. Sustainability, as I touched on, we've been here a long time. Structured under our very, very important and strict laws, a very knowledgeable society, a very fit and healthy society. And the one part of culture that I'd like to extend to everyone listening to me this morning is responsibility. Every single person born here for tens of thousands of years were taught their responsibility to country both now and into the future. And that also resonated to your extended family responsibility. I find that we are only 3% of the Australian population today. So concerning country and the strengths of community and family, non-Indigenous people can actually do more. And if you call this place your home, the laws haven't changed. We never sold our sovereignty to the British, so the laws are still here. Try your best, if you can, to understand your responsibility to country and to each other. That is the way we move forward, I believe, in a successful future. Because unfortunately, the human needs have really outbalanced environmental needs, and our culture is all about balancing human and environmental needs for a sustainable future. Now, the British proved that they didn't want to create reconciliation with Aboriginal people. They just wanted what we had. There's lessons from the past. Let's learn from them. Let's be a mature, civilised society. For 20 odd, or actually 30 odd years now, we've still tried to form reconciliation in this country. We haven't been able to do it. We've been trying to form it for over 200 years. Can Australia embrace Aboriginal people or culture? Can Australia stop disappointing Aboriginal people? And can Australia stop killing Aboriginal people? Whose job is it to reconcile? Whose responsibility is it? See, I have a right to do a welcome to country because it was handed down by my ancestors. This is a law. This is a passport. This is access to our sacred resources and our people. So I have that authority to do a welcome for you today. And the message I have from my ancestors is respect of people, country and culture is mandatory or we cannot welcome you. By inviting me here to do a welcome, I feel respect from your organisation. I'll just explain very quickly what the symbolisms of the ceremony mean. So the offering of vegetation symbolise your resource access, and they're sacred in our culture. There's nothing more valuable than our resources. The snapping of spears represents your safety. The offering of water symbolised trust, respect, and the walking through smoke symbolised your spiritual cleansing. So I'd like to say to you all, Wurundjeri Beek, welcome to Wurundjeri country. I hope you have a great day and a great discussion at your meeting. And again, thank you for incorporating a very important custom that has been here for thousands of years. So thank you.
Good morning, and thank you, Uncle Bill Nicholson, for opening our State of Volunteering report release and AGM today. You speak about words of rights and responsibilities, and I think they're timeless virtues that we need to honour the history and the tradition and the sovereignty of particularly in Victoria, the Wurundjeri and the Wurundjeri people. So thank you very much for giving us this introduction, and we certainly appreciate and respect the role of a welcome to country at such an occasion as this. So our respect and our thanks to you and the folks that come before you and come following you. I myself, as Scott Miller, Chief Executive at Volunteering Victoria, welcome you from the Wurundjeri country as well, where I'm located myself this morning.